Imagine this for a moment. You have been working non-stop for months. Your body is exhausted. Your brain is heavy. And you finally decided, yes, I deserve 4 days away. You pack a bag and you step onto a plane and you turn off your phone. But what actually happens to your world the moment you step away? Does the business keep running calmly without you? Or does the entire structure begin to shake? I ask myself this question all the time when I look at the brilliant executives and founders in our community. You work 19 hours a week. You bring in good money, but if every single piece of the process lives inside your head, have you really built an asset? Or have you just built a high-income prison you can never escape from?
The red earth remembers the cold in the clay, deep in the shadows where the old giants lay. Every forgotten lineage.
You as the founder are in charge and responsible for everything, even if you have members of your team, if you've got staff. I know business owners that have got staff and yet they're still doing 99% of the work themselves. And if they're not doing all of the work, they're retaining all of the information in their head, which then means that they're having challenges with getting their staff to do the things in the way they want them to be done, because they're not communicating and sharing in the way that it needs to be shared, and they're doing everything manually.
Isn't it fascinating how we convince ourselves that holding everything in our head is a sign of strength? We tell ourselves, if I do it myself, at least it's done right. But if you pause and really feel the weight of that statement, isn't that just a quiet form of exhaustion? Why do we allow modern society to make us so numb to our own fatigue? All this began to resonate more with me after I sat down to analyze the work of Emily Bryant, a guest I had twice in the Obehi podcast. Emily Bryant is a U.S. Air Force veteran turned high-level management consultant, coach, and author who helped professionals break free from inherited definition of success and step into personal sovereignty. As a creator of the Sustainable Pursuit of Success framework and the founder of Obehi Ewanfoh, he leverages the Japanese concept of Ikigai to guide executives and entrepreneurs in uncovering the true purpose, reclaiming their critical thinking from modern distraction, and building self-running system centered around the authentic life experience.
Much of modern society's job is to make you selectively blind, selectively numb, selectively deaf. It produces a bias that you can be manipulated through. Just being sensitive to what's right in front of you, what's right here, the sense of smell, the sense of touch, the sense of taste, the hearing and the sight, all together, working with you as a whole being so that you can experience your world fully. And then you'll make different assessments of who you are and how you navigate your life when you understand that you are no longer blind to certain stimuli.
I don't know about you, but listening to Emily, I can't help but wonder, where did we first learn to be stimulated by things that do not move us in the right direction? Think back to when you were in school. Were you taught how to build a system that supports your life? Or were you simply trained to consume information, get a degree, and fit neatly into a machine that some people have built for themselves?
In education, what I believe that, currently we have mass production of managers who are then only 10% or 20% of them recruited in one or the other way, and plenty of our investment within education gets lost or waste because there are not enough employment with the same criteria, or the dynamics in the business and the real world is so much changing that they are left nowhere. Generally, if you assess the education, what they have got and what they are working after 2 or 3 years, you will see that they hardly take the education forward, or they are benefited from the education.
Think about what Dr. Takura just exposed. We spend decades of our lives and thousands of dollars sitting in a classroom just to get pushed down a factory assembly line. They train us to be managers of their asset, workers in their building, and caretakers of their dream. But here is the question that kept me up while walking through the stone street of Verona. What actually happens when you win that game? What happens when you work 60 hours a week, climb to the very top of that corporate ladder, look around, and realize it was leaning against the wrong wall entirely? You realize you don't own the building. You are just a high-paid tenant. I asked Emily Bryant about this exact moment. Emily spent 20 years in the US Air Force before becoming a master executive consultant. He did everything the script told him to do. He hit every single target 5 years early and was met with a deep, terrified silence.
We're all using someone's definition of success that is so flawed that we're unhappy when we attain it. We work and we work and we work. I remember a very blue period. You can read it in my book, Start with a Sparkle. You can find this blue period in my book where I had achieved everything I had set out to do. I had achieved everything that I was told was success. And I believed those things were success. So I put them on a pedestal and I pursued them. And I achieved them far sooner than I wanted. I came out of the Air Force Academy. I was 23 years old. I had a woman I loved whom I would later marry. And I had built a 10-year plan. So by the year 2003-ish, I should have done all of these things that I had said were success. I had placed it on paper. Somewhere in my archives, I probably have that piece of paper still because I keep a lot of those little notes and stuff like that. But here's the problem. In 5 years, I achieved everything I thought it would take 10 years to achieve. And it was deeply unsettling, disappointing. I was not depressed, but I went through probably the deepest blue period of my life. I am overachieving because I have the capacity to do greater things. And 2, I am underselling myself by achieving something someone else said I should do. And I had taken classes in self-recognition and self-introspection and all the things that should have made me very aware of who I was. And yet I had not lived up to my potential, and I had used someone else's markers to define success.
Not only have we not been taught to, we've been taught the opposite. If you are thinking too big, you're told that you think that you're better than other people. Who do you think you are? So it's kind of frowned upon and also if you're looking at it from a more spiritual or religious perspective, within the diaspora communities, there's a lot of Christian people, and we're told money is the root of all evil. You shouldn't want to be pursuing money. And therefore, there's another reason not to think big and have a big vision. And then there's not necessarily always the right support and guidance in the early stages to say, actually, it's really important to have a clear vision, because sometimes people will say, yeah, I've got vision. And then I start asking 2 or 3 questions and it's very clear you don't really have a proper vision. You have kind of a big dream of what you want to achieve, but there's no clarity on this. These are the exact things that I want to achieve in this time frame. This is how I'm going to do it. And these are the strategies I'm going to employ.
So how do we break that sort of fear? What if scaling your authority isn't about working harder or shouting louder, but simply about turning on the engine you already have?
If your car makes certain noise, you say, oh, it is not tuned. Or if it uses a lot of petrol, you may say your car needs tuning. That is what I mean. If you change a little, even very little thing in your one car, that can have impact on all other parts of the car, because these all other parts of the car are working together as a whole system.
When you have robust systems, so kind of specific groups of standard operating procedures of how to do specific things, you're then able to see if they're the most efficient ways of doing things. And if they're not, then you can improve them. Once you then improve them, if you take something from 24 hours to 1 hour, you've just saved 23 hours in the business. That boosts profitability, which means you're going to make more money and make more profit, which means you're going to retain more money in your business. And also it means that you get more time back that you can then spend to do whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's to do more kind of cash generating activities within your business, or to take some time out of the business to relax and chill. Many business owners that I speak to have the same issue. I'm doing too much, I don't have enough time. And I ask them what are the kind of key systems that are integral to the kind of growth and the operations of your business, and they don't know.
Think about what you could do with an extra 12 hours every week. Would you spend it burning out more tasks, or would you spend that time to reconnect with the real reasons you started this journey in the first place?
Consider the Ikigai the bullseye of your life. It's the thing that you should want to center and then put everything around it. That's work, family, joyful hobbies. All of that should go around the center called the Ikigai. That way you're making sure every day you're manifesting that which you were put here to do, what you are built for. If you don't know your Ikigai, then you don't have that center necessarily, or worse, perhaps someone gave you a center that doesn't belong to you. That's the part that I'm really unpacking when I work with people. I'm trying to help people measure what success is supposed to be.
When you center your work on what you were built for, and you support it with a rigid system, a proprietary methodology that only you truly own, you stop fighting for survival. You begin to root yourself deeply into your own soil.
So when my father taught me to be like grass, what he was really saying is, can you drive your roots into the fertile soil of your life? And then can you simply grow and create your own ecosystem out of that growth? Without you trying to, can you just be your best self every day and see what transforms in the life you live and the life of the people who live around you?
I leave you with this final reflection today. How much longer are you willing to carry the entire weight of your business in your head? You don't need another generic course that tells you to hustle harder. You need a space where you can sit down together, examine your history, extract your 20 years of genius, and write it into an own permanent asset. That is why we built the AClasses Academic Foundry. We invite you to sit at the Village Square table here with us. Let's audit your narrative, build your operating system, and create an exact strategy from daily exhaustion. Let's sit at the table and let's build your asset.
If you're waiting for a savior, you'll be waiting for a cage. We are turning back the chapters to the very first page. Sovereignty is a system